traumatic stress increases risk for multiple and diverse diseases of aging. In understanding why, we can look at specific mechanisms of the specific disorders, or we can look at the common mechanism across these different diseases of aging, and that mechanism is biological aging. During the past several years, we've been looking at the relationship between stress and aging across multiple studies. We didn't start out with an interest in gender differences in this process. There's some tendency for women to show a pattern that looks like greater risk in comparison to the pattern that we see in men. So we now have some preliminary evidence suggesting that there may be gender differences in biological responses to stress. And what we need to do is understand if those differences really exist, and if they do, whether they suggest that we should target our treatments to men and women. So for now, we just have some tantalizing evidence that women respond differently to stress, and that they may be at greater risk for increases in inflammation in response to traumatic stress. And what we need to understand is why and how that greater risk comes about. So the directions for our future research include looking at the specific types of traumatic stress that are more common in women versus men. We also need to look at the effects of female hormones and male hormones on these biological responses to stress. And finally, we need to understand if there are treatment options that may be more appropriate for men or women.